Okay, so on Twitter recently, they've been dragging Lauryn Hill because she addressed how she's consistently late to her concerts and saying, yo, y'all lucky I make it on this stage every night. I mean, the least you could do is show up to your own concert, I fear. But, this kind of brought up a bigger discussion because she basically said nobody asked her to make a follow up to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which objectively isn't true. I saw this quote retweet. It says, she is so confusing. What does she mean no one showed up to ask her to make a follow up to Miseducation? I could have sworn people were clamoring for new music, and what does that have to do with being habitually late and disrespectful to your audience? And then that brings me to this other thread, which I saw, which is very educational. So they said Lauryn Hill stays lying. She locked herself in her Miami hotel room for many moons, had her label make a studio there because she didn't want to drive a half mile to the studio. She flew musicians to meet her to record just for them to be there for days without doing anything. Ooh. Now, this is crazy to me. She asked people to do work for God, aka for free, and she got swindled. And then professionals pointed out the fact that she only knew how to play 3 chords on the guitar when she did the MTV Unplugged special. And now they're saying Columbia, after time, finally had to cut her off financially for spending millions and not producing any work. She turned on acting roles for Beloved, A Star is Born, Dreamgirls, Charlie's Angels, The Born Identity, The Matrix Reloaded, and The Matrix Resolutions. Okay, I did not know this. Lauryn Hill blows me as an artist. She was so incredibly talented. I understand her goal was to remain authentic and establish boundaries within a parasitic industry, but she did so by letting everyone down. Basically, I can't see the rest. And then they were just saying, like, if you don't want to work, just like be honest about that. And then there's an article to back up the claim. And then they're just saying that it's about how she said that no one approached her when obviously that's not true. And then that brings me on to this other thread. Someone said she also knew she couldn't actually create an album that would be a proper follow-up to Miseducation because she burned almost everyone who made the album when it was. And this kind of goes on to the fact that the album came out and then, again, she asked people to work for free. She didn't credit these people, so then she got sued for a bunch of money and for credits on the album and everything. So it's kind of parlaying to that. Then they said, and I truly believe that more than anything got her stuck in her own head. And she built walls up that were supposed to be about artistry and authenticity, but were really about the pressure of having to basically turn the score and Miseducation into a three-peat. Then they say that they have some other theories, and then apparently Robert Glasper said something about how she treats instrumentals, so I'll have to go find that. And then they are saying that Sony gave her a lot of chances and they even gave her a new deal whenever she was in tax trouble. She did a Nina Simone tribute album instead of a new studio album. I had no idea that that even exists, so I'll definitely have to go listen to that. And now it says can't, not don't want to, not bored with the original arrangements, not want to be creative with it, legally cannot. That's really interesting because I've heard that people always talking about how she's switching up the arrangements because she can't legally perform it, I guess because she doesn't own it or like whatever, but that's interesting to hear. And then continuing on, they said, someone said this weekend that their theory is she resents having to still tour and takes it on the audience. I think she was actually feeling it when she started this round over the summer, but touring is a grind, you have to love it still. And that Lauryn is a cautionary tale of getting massive success before you're in a place to manage it. Some food for thought. And then there's some other stuff here as well. And then this should be the last part, them talking about the lawsuits, the pressure to follow up the album, and about how she denied the collaborators and she doesn't have her group mates, and even massive success can be overwhelming on your own. And then there's the rest of it. So let me know your thoughts on all this stuff down below in the comments and everything. I think Lauryn Hill is one of the best rappers of all time, amazing performer. This is one of the best albums of all time right here, but that doesn't excuse her not crediting people fairly and all the things like that. But I mean, you learn something new every day. Let me know your thoughts on this down below, even your favorite songs on the album, because why not?